You know what I just realized? The patient on Omiko was cutting themselves. I just went back on the recording. They were cutting themselves. This shit was irritating, bro. It's so irritating. So irritating, bro. But let me see this damn. I'm not hopping on Omiko, no, never again. It's just traumatizing. Trump might free Diddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there's a story going around right now, apparently, surrounding the possibility that Trump might be commuting Diddy's sentence. And now, I'm not going to lie, I don't think that is going to be happening at all, although technically it could, because any president can pardon, I guess, anybody that they want, given the power of the executive branch. And, there seems to be a lot of conflicting reports going on. So I'm just going to try and stay neutral in this video. I'm going to read what I'm seeing on screen and let you guys formulate your own opinions. Now, according to Diamonds Live News, they say Donald Trump is considering commuting Diddy's sentence as early as this week, according to a high-ranking House official. So clearly, this may be from somebody who actually works with Donald Trump in the White House. They say Diddy is serving a 50-month prison sentence for violating the Mann Act. And according to Google, they say the Mann Act is a U.S. federal law also known as the White Slave Traffic Act. Okay, whoa, hell of a name. That criminalizes transporting a person across state or national borders for, and I quote, any immoral purpose. Okay, so any immoral purpose, very broad, very vague, but the U.S. government loves that so that they can use it against anybody they feel as though that they need to take down. Diddy in this case. They say he served 13 months, and with credit, he could get out in around 2 years. But none of that matters if Trump commutes his sentence. He will be free. And as you can see, the reactions in the comment section, are telling. A lot of people obviously do not agree with this. And yeah, I just gotta say, this would be a very bad move for Trump if he ever decides to do that. That would irrevocably tarnish his image. Now, according to TMZ, they say Trump considering commuting Diddy's sentence possibly this week. So we still have about 2 days left of this week to see what happens.
He does not do that shit, huh?
Somebody on Twitter said, Trump on pardoning Diddy. Well, he was essentially sort of half innocent. Probably, I was very friendly with him. I get along with him great.
Asked me to do it.
Sean Diddy Combs.
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great, and seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
Yeah, and it's hard, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know, it's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do.
So ladies and gentlemen, let this be known. Let this be a lesson that, it's not about what you do, it's about who you know and the connections you have. Had Diddy, based off of what I just heard and we all just heard,
think about Trump, he would have considered it more to free him.
Obviously, the game is rigged. It's not about what you do, it's about who you know. Had Diddy, not, I guess, turned his back against Trump, and here's some images with Diddy and Trump when they were younger, I guess 15, maybe 20 years ago. Here's Diddy and his wife, Melania, and Trump himself. Had Diddy, played the field neutrally and said, you know what, let me keep some ties over here, over there, on both sides. So, depending on which side wins, I can, still have my ass covered. Had Diddy played that, he likely would have gotten his sentence commuted. Whether you believe that's justified or not, understand, ladies and gentlemen, as I've gotten older and I've learned more about this world, I've realized being a good person doesn't really mean shit. It really doesn't. Being humble doesn't mean anything. You could commit the most heinous, violent acts in the world, and if you have enough money, enough power, the best lawyers, and connections to particular politicians, I'm not naming any names, you'll pretty much just get a slap on the wrist. And I'm not specifically talking about Diddy in the situation, although he is a part of the story. I'm just saying in general, I've just seen so many bad people get away with a lot of.
Yeah, because like they have the most money and more connections. But you have to make connections when you're young. A lot of connections. Connection with the J people. The J. You gotta make connections with them. They can be good. Teach you finance and stuff. You can be. It's the one person getting rich. They eventually gonna all be rich while you are rich too. If you're learning from them, you're gonna eventually become like them. Think about
Bad
it.
shit that they otherwise wouldn't have if they were just a normal 9-to-5 regular working individual, of which should be the case. There shouldn't be rules for thee, but not for me. But that is the world we live in, and honestly, as a side note, I fully internalized it, I fully accepted it, and that's the game I'm going to play. Oh shit. Oh shit. That just sounded maniacal as hell. That sounded very suspenseful. I know. But going back to TMZ, all right. So the White House, they got wind of TMZ, reporting this story, right? And a couple days ago at 6:33 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, they say the White House Communications Office is saying
People after you die. Rachida after you die. Coco Black after you die. Games. Hello, again. I summon Shenron. I summon you, Shenron. But nah. That's why Demon King Piccolo killed you. Coco Black is literally celebrating you died. Mine now. Again. Oh, again. Characters that they're loved by real people.
our story is not true. But TMZ is now saying we stand by our story. Our story is accurate. And you guys got to know TMZ, fuck, they have so much information, like so many like whistleblowers.
What the heck is this?
And so much inside information regarding a lot of their stories that they've been tested before. They've stood by their word, and a lot of their stories, not all of them, they are not bulletproof, but a lot of them seem to come out to be true. It's crazy. They say Donald Trump is considering commuting Diddy's sentence as early as this week, according to high-ranking White House official. According to our source, whoever their source is, the president is vacillating. I don't know what that word means. On a commutation. Listen, I'm still every day expanding my vocabulary. Vacillating means wavering between different opinions or actions. Irresolute. So he's still, gauging whether or not he should commute Diddy or not. TMZ says we're told some of the White House staff are urging Trump not to commute the sentence, and I think that's very obvious. Don't do that. That would be very bad. But our source states the obvious, and I quote, Trump will do what he wants.
Blood. Smash that like button. It does not. It's lit for fun.
As we know, Trump is a very stubborn individual, and we're told Trump could set Diddy free as early as this week, which in my opinion would be very terrible for his PR. Trump, do not do that, please. They also say, we know almost immediately after Diddy was sentenced earlier this month, his legal team was in touch with a high-ranking White House official who has the ear of the president regarding a commutation or pardon. Just days later, Trump told the media he was aware of the ask. So I just gotta say, the game is rigged. Like I said again, it's not about what you do, who you are, but it's about who you know. And in this world, it's all about connections. So with that,
Oh, do I look like? Yeah. Do I look like? Yeah. Yeah. Look. Oh my days, bro. Only if Goku basically revives his dad.
said if you plan on doing any particular crimes or living particular lifestyles that can get you hemmed up with DUIs from the lowest level DUIs, drug trafficking, involving yourself with sex work or potentially domestic violence or I don't know, theft, robbery, you better damn make sure you have enough money for a good ass lawyer if you get caught. Maybe somebody in law enforcement like a dad who's a police officer or a sheriff, maybe an uncle who's in politics or who is a governor or who's in Congress, because if you have that connection, if you're in a position of power and privilege, you can almost get your record expunged or you can get lesser charges because your uncle is friends with the DA, the judge, particular attorneys who all like, guys, understand, although on the world stage, Democrat, Republican, left and right, they're bickering at each other, they quote unquote hate each other in
It's literally the same thing. Right now. Wait, what? Oh my, what's the thing about Dragon Ball Z, bro? Is you watching it right now as I'm doing this? It's kind of basically, I'm not gonna say fucking up me, but something like that at the same time.
public, behind the scenes, they're all friends, literally the same.
Actually, this on the files EP, the F files, both sides are definitely on it. Well, none of them wants to allegedly. Why none of them wants to release it? They're both on it. Aren't they? They're both getting paid by APAC. They're both on it, bro.
Same thing applies in the entertainment industry. You see all these beefs online. I'm going to fill you guys in. All these guys are literally friends or
They're
just
getting paid to beef. They're making money off all of us. That they just want distraction and war and all such thing. They just gonna be watching their underground bunkers. Oh, this shit was actually funny. These idiots don't. Okay, this is some conspiracy theory shit. I'm gonna
it's
leave
like
it like that.
acquainted behind the scenes. They literally beef online and act all tough online, but in real life, they literally dap each other up. I promise you. That's literally what happens, bro. It's all for views, mostly views and entertainment. Like, yeah, sure, there can be some real static sometimes, but mostly, bro, everybody just wants to view farm, get money, and like enjoy life. So the same thing applies to politics as well and billionaires and corporations, bro. I'm sorry to tell everybody, but it's all fake. It's a facade. Game is rigged. So yeah, if anybody from the White House sees this, do not just tell Trump don't do that. Like literally, there's already a lot of people who don't view you in a favorable light. Given Diddy's notoriety, I don't think it would be wise for you to commute his sentence, just in my opinion. Anyways, though, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Also, if you want to enter the giveaway to either win $70, you could either win $70 to
Free. Someone said free TK. Nigga, keep that nigga locked up. What do you mean free TK? TK ain't doing anything but the race. I beat the race. I'm not watching this. It's too long. That's in a situation.
Hey, yo, cut the cameras.